Hello everyone, I am going to show you once I get off this mode, how to create your own Google site. So for this unit, instead of having you write an essay or individual short essays, we are going to have you create a Google site. And within that Google site, you're going to write 3 individual blog posts. But for this week, we're only focusing on creating the shell for the site, which you will add to starting next week. So as you see here, I'm within my Google Drive. And up here on the left where it says new, I'm going to click here. I'm going to scroll down because it's not here, but if you click on more, you'll see here Google Sites. So it's kind of like the same way you would do if you wanted to do a new Google Doc or a new Google Slides, but you're going to be clicking on Google Site. So you're going to go here. And what's cool about this is that once it's created, it's going to stay within your Google Drive the same way a Google Doc would. So it's very helpful for you to access throughout this unit as you're updating your website. So first thing, everyone's website will look like this at the very beginning. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go here to the top left-hand corner where it says Untitled Site. We're going to double click here and you're going to do your first name, last name, JJ Site. And the reason that we're titling it this way is so that within your Google Drive, you will be able to access this and you won't lose track of it. And as well as when we are grading your websites, we'll be able to see whose website this is. So that's just going to be the file name. But here you'll see this is your website name. And get creative with your website title. You want it to think about it the same way you would for an essay title. Give it something that's going to hook your reader or your viewer into your website, kind of a snappy title, but of course that's on subject. And you'll see here, whatever title you choose, you can change the font of it. You can do bold, underline, all that kind of stuff. You can change the color of it. What have you. Get creative with it. You also see here on the left the header type. So when you click on this here, when you click on the header type, you can change it to cover, which will take that image to the whole page, large banner, or title only. I suggest doing the large cover. I think that looks the coolest, but it's up to you ultimately. And then in addition to the header type, you can also change the background image. So you'll click here on the bottom left to change image, and you can upload an image of your choice, or you can select an image from the internet. And then if you click here to search, it'll take you to Google search, and you can choose something like juvenile justice system. Let's say we wanted to do that. And maybe you want like a cool background. Too bad none of these are really that cool. Let's say I want to do this courtroom. So I would click on the image, go to select, and then you'll see that the image inserts itself behind my title. I think this is like Australian. Is that a kangaroo and an ostrich? Whatever. Courtroom. You could do prison. I don't know. Whatever you want to create your site, but make it kind of an interesting image, but of course one that's on subject. So once you have your image here, this is where you're going to title your site. Remember, this is just the file name up here on the left. This is where you're going to title your website, and you want it to have a creative title. So once you have your homepage done, you're going to go over here on the right. Oh, actually, before I do that, over here on the right, you'll see that there's themes. So if you click on themes over here, you'll see that you can change the way it looks. So this is, it defaults to simple. There's Aristotle, which is kind of cool looking, Diplomat, and Vision. So there aren't very many. I think there's one more. Oh, just kidding. My thing was in the way. Level, impression. And so there aren't a whole lot of styles, but you can change the style that it looks like. And then if you see here, you can also change some of the colors. So take a while for this. Take some time to explore it, customize it to your liking, what have you. But that's all there in themes. But what we're going to do next is we're going to click on pages. So that's over here right in between themes. So we're going to click on pages right here. And you'll see that the first one is your home page, which is great. So just leave that as home. But this plus sign down here on the right, that's what we're going to click on to add our blog posts. So we're going to click on this first one, and what we're going to title it is blog number 1. So blog number 1, and then we're going to add another one, blog number 2. Can you guess what the third page is going to be? Blog number 3. Then blog number 3. So you'll see here, we should have our home page, blog number 1, blog number 2, and blog number 3. Now we're going to go up to blog number 1, and this, as you see, it defaults back to, it copies your image from the home page. So when you guys start creating your own blogs, which will be starting next week, you can go here and then you can change this image. Let's say you wanted to do another sort of image. Oh, hang on. I want to do another sort of image. Let's say you wanted to do this one. So you select here, and then you'll see that changes it for blog number 1, but your home page is still the same. So blog number 1, and then underneath, we need to add a text box in order for you to create your first blog. So you're going to go over here in the right-hand corner where it says Insert, click there, and then you're going to click Text Box. And then you'll see that it defaults directly underneath. And that's where you're going to be writing your first blog post. And you'll follow that same step of within your blog number 2 and blog number 3, inserting that text box. Then you'll see here, you can change the font, all that good stuff. And I think it has to be single spaced. You can't do double space. But you will be given the blog prompts starting next week. But going back to your pages, you want to do this for each page. You can change the image however you want, but you're going to have to go to Insert, Text Box, and then go back to page 3, or blog 3, I'm sorry, and Insert, Text Box. So that way you have this all ready for you to go when we begin writing our first blog post next week. And I suggest that you keep these sites simple. You can change the style of it. You can add photos to it if you want. You'll see that it keeps the text box here. You can do it this way as well. And then when you mess up or you create something that you don't want, if you hover over it and then you see here on the left, this is where you can delete the section, you can duplicate it, or you can change the color, section background. Let's maybe I wanted emphasis. And then my blog will type here in blue, or I'm sorry, in the blue box, but it'll be in white font. So it's cool to have some customizability. You can create the site how you want. You can make an image in the background, make it a little bit lighter. And then remember, if you go to themes, if you change that color, it'll change the color on your site as well. So there is some customizability, but thankfully it's somewhat straightforward. So this is, again, remember, this is just the shell for our blogs that will start next week. But now everyone should have a Google site, first and last name, right? And you have a total of 4 pages. You should have your home page, blog number 1, blog number 2, and blog number 3. Now, lastly, before you close this site down and then revisit it next week for your first blog post, you're going to go